It's Monday, April 6th, 2015. This is PSN News. Tonight on PSN News, we'll have the latest on the Rolling Stones' recent retraction.
We'll also talk to Penn State's Relay for Life, coming up on PSN News.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Hunter Holbert.
And I'm Jess Arnold. Rolling Stone is facing harsh criticism after retracting its story about a rape on the University of Virginia campus. The magazine requested a review of the narrative after some news media organizations found fact errors last November. The Columbia University Graduate School of Journalism published a scathing report Sunday, calling it a journalistic failure. The journalism school said that Rolling Stone's biggest mistakes were insufficient fact-checking and unsupported attribution. This critique comes 2 weeks after the Charlottesville Police Department dismissed the case for lack of evidence supporting the victim's claims. The accused fraternity says that it is exploring legal actions against Rolling Stone.
A renowned hospital is being sued for $1 billion due to the details of a study it allegedly performed. Nearly 800 former research subjects are seeking justice, claiming they were infected with sexually transmitted diseases in Guatemala more than 65 years ago. The medical experiments, which occurred between 1945 and 1956, were kept a secret until they were recently discovered in 2010 by college professor Susan Reverby. The program published no findings and did not inform the Guatemalan participants. The lawsuit, which also names the philanthropic Rockefeller Foundation, accuses both institutions of helping design, support, encourage, and finance the experiments. Johns Hopkins denies that they had any involvement in the experiment.
Senator Robert Mendez maintains his innocence and vows to fight corruption charges brought against him on Wednesday. According to the Justice Department, federal prosecutors indicted the New Jersey Democrat for allegedly using his office to push the business interests of a friend and donor in exchange for gifts. The case brought by the Justice Department's Public Integrity Unit follows years of the senator fighting off investigations with federal prosecutors and the FBI pursuing him. Mendez claims it is an opportunity to end a politically motivated 3-year smear campaign.
Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson's wish has been granted now that lawmakers have changed a controversial religious liberty bill. Hutchinson refused to sign the original bill, requesting that the state legislature makes changes in the wake of criticism that the legislation could be used to discriminate against LGBT citizens. The governor said at a press conference that he wanted the legislation to mirror the Federal Religious Freedom Restoration Act. Following the request, the Arkansas House of Representatives passed an amended version of the controversial Religious Freedom Restoration Act on Thursday. The governor signed the bill into law shortly afterwards.
72-year-old Muhammadu Buhari made history Wednesday as the first opposition party candidate to win election in Nigeria. While Nigerians celebrate the electrifying victory that returned one of its harshest former dictators to power, Buhari cannot rest easy. Buhari ruled Nigeria for less than 20 months before being deposed by a coup in 1985 amid wide dissatisfaction that he had been slow to overcome the nation's economic problems. Buhari will have to deal with similar issues when he takes over the presidency. Nigeria's economy is suffering again due to low oil prices and the diminishing value of the local currency.
Relations between Iran and the United States may be warming up. President Hassan Rouhani said Friday that they will reduce some of their nuclear assets as promised in the agreements made during last week's nuclear talks. President Obama considers the deal a win for the United States because it will cut significantly into Iran's bomb-capable technology. As part of the arrangement, the U.S. has sworn to withdraw sanctions against the Middle Eastern country, which would open up Tehran to oil markets, bank accounts, and other financial assets. Negotiations have been ongoing for the past 2 years. Still, diplomats have until June 30th to officially sign a treaty.
Kenyans continue to mourn following Saturday's massacre that left 148 students dead at a university campus in Garissa. The attack was carried out by Shabab, a Somali Islamist extremist group. Armed men stormed the campus, separating Muslims from Christians, then shooting those identified as Christians. Radio Andakus, a station affiliated with the Shabab, reported that the group says the killings are in response to other killings carried out by Kenyan troops fighting militants in Somalia. The massacre has been deemed Kenya's worst terrorist attack since the 1998 bombing of the United States Embassy in Nairobi.
A Penn State high school student had an April Fool's prank go horribly wrong. We'll have more coming up.
Jerry Sandusky announced last Monday that he intends to use secret grand jury testimony to attempt yet another appeal of his conviction of 45 counts of child sex abuse. The Daily Collegian reports that the former Penn State football defensive coordinator's appeal will be filed in the next couple of days. Sandusky initially appealed his trial in September 2013 and then again in October 2013. With his conviction officially finalized in July 2014, Sandusky will now seek a post-conviction relief, the step after appellate rights are exhausted. The Centre County report granted Sandusky's motion on Wednesday, and the testimony seal will be maintained.
On Thursday, President Barron announced that his administration will slow the process of creating a Greek life task force to ensure that it is both representative and knowledgeable on the issues. The task force will review the fraternity and sorority system at Penn State in its relation to sexual misconduct, alcohol misuse, and hazing. The task force was announced in response to the ongoing Kappa Delta Rho investigation. Since then, the university has received a large number of nominations and offers from individuals to serve on the task force. Due to this, Barron said he does not want to rush the process and instead wants to make sure that it is thoughtful, comprehensive, and complete.
Students now have a better idea of where their tuition money is going. The Daily Collegian reports that President Eric Barron held a budget forum last Monday in the Hintz Family Alumni Center. During the meeting, Barron outlined the major components of Penn State's budget and zeroed in on how students' tuition dollars are spent. He said that the university uses this money for 8 categories, including instruction, academic support, student services, student aid, and research. Instruction receives 43% of the money. Barron also said that he proposed a tuition freeze for next year at the State General Assembly meeting in March. The Penn State Board of Trustees will officially set tuition after Governor Tom Wolf passes his proposed budget by July 1st.
A record turnout and the votes are in. Daily Collegian is reporting that the current UPUA Vice President Emily McDonald will be next year's president for the University Park Undergraduate Association. Her running mate, Terry Ford, will serve as the vice president. The team won almost 2/3 of the votes cast. This year's election also had the highest voter turnout in at least 7 years, more than 9,000 people. UPUA only experienced one blimp throughout the day. There were double counts for some of the at-large representative candidates. After fixing the inconsistency, UPUA made one change to the results. Matt Ickenberry will serve as the 20th representative in place of initially elected Brad Stubbe.
State College Area High School went in lockdown last week after an April Fool's prank went wrong. State College Area School District spokesman Chris Rosenblum says a student texted a family member saying there was a gunman in the high school. The family member immediately called police, and 7 State College police officers arrived at the school 1 minute later. Police say the student who sent the text admitted that it was meant to be an April Fool's prank. The lockdown ended after police were able to confirm that the report was a hoax.
An Easter Vigil Mass in Altoona was interrupted on Sunday when a gun accidentally discharged. Police say the owner of the gun was kneeling in the church when it snagged on his pants and fired, grazing his hand. The man, who has not been identified, had a license for the gun and was carrying it legally. Sergeant Marshall Whirling says police in the Blair County District Attorney's Office are consulting to determine what, if any, charges that the man will face. Bishop Mark Barczyk of the Altoona-Johnstown Diocese says he's grateful that no one was seriously injured. But he says guns have no place in his diocese.
The Center Daily Times reports that Centre County's Assistant District Attorney Nathan Boob resigned Wednesday after receiving death threats. The Daily Collegian reports Boob will now serve as a senior deputy DA in a third-class county in Pennsylvania. The exact location remains undisclosed because, according to his statement, a convicted murderer has threatened both his life and to reveal a confidential informant's identity. Boob also stated that the plot was recklessly and inexplicably made public by members of the Centre County Bar, exposing Boob and his family to danger. Boob stated that defense attorneys were displeased with his tough-on-crime attitude and knowingly exposed an ongoing investigation in an attempt to advance their personal interests.
And we'll be right back with an interview with Penn State's Relay for Life. Stay tuned. And welcome back. I'm here with Kevin Christie from Penn State's Relay for Life. Thanks for joining us, Kevin.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Now, first, can you tell us a little bit about what Relay Life is about and what you guys have planned for this year?
Yeah, absolutely. So Relay for Life of Penn State is a 24-hour walkathon that celebrates cancer survivors, remembers those we have lost, and fights back against a disease that has taken so much from us. So here at Penn State, we turned it into a year-long fundraising and awareness raising effort. So we started back in October, kind of recruiting captains to help us out during the year. And our big event is coming up this weekend, actually. And that is going to be the 24-hour walkathon.
Right. Now, can you tell us a little bit about your relationship with the American Cancer Society and what exactly you guys have planned this year for this event?
Yeah, absolutely. So our main benefactor is the American Cancer Society, like you said. Great organization, national organization, one of the only organizations, nonprofits, that raises $1 million every single day in the fight against cancer. They raised $370 million this past year, so very excited to be a part of that. This year specifically, we are changing locations, changing venues. We're moving to the outdoor track at the multi-sport complex. The past 3 years, we've been at Medler Field. It was a great facility. Unfortunately, with some scheduling issues, we had to change locations. So this year, moving facilities, got a bunch of new performers coming out, a lot of bands, a lot of activities. It's going to be a great weekend.
Now, what initiatives do you have specifically that will be unique for this year's Relay for Life?
So one of the big things we have coming out this year is really increasing the participation in ACS CAN, which is the American Cancer Society's initiative to really use public policy in the fight against cancer. So, for example, at our hub event 2 weeks ago, we had a petition that was designed to raise the tobacco tax in the state of Pennsylvania. So we had anyone who walked through the hub kind of sign that for us, and we actually sent that on to Harrisburg. So
that's very unique.
Yeah, things like that.
Now, this is a huge event, obviously, and it takes a lot of planning, a lot of careful preparation. Now, what exactly have you guys done as a team to make sure that this event will be the best one yet?
So me and the overall committee, I'm the head of the overall committee, and there's 13 other overalls who kind of work year round. We've been working since last April, actually, when the last event ended last year, to really plan this weekend. Obviously, we got hit in October with this change of venue, so that's been an interesting experience. But been reaching out to performers, recruiting teams to sign up, really developing ourselves within the Penn State community. We've made some great partnerships this year, and we really would like to exploit those this weekend and really bring the celebration of life to the Penn State campus.
Now, and have you talked at all with past overalls and getting advice for what works and what doesn't with this event?
Yeah, absolutely. So every year we have a final report that's kind of passed down. I think I have final reports from the last 2 years, so definitely using that for reference and planning. Obviously, with the change of venues, it's a little hard because certain things are tailored to certain facilities. But just last week, I reached out to the past overall, and she gave me some encouraging words during a stressful time, so it's great.
Now, is the deadline looming with signups? Has it already passed, or can people still sign up for this?
No, you can come out on Sunday. The event's 2 p.m. on Saturday to 2 p.m. on Sunday, 24 hours. It's a walkathon, like I said. But registration's open all weekend. You can come out there with a group of friends, make a team. It really is a great experience. The great thing about Relay for Life is you don't necessarily need a specific cause to be a part of it. All you have to do is want to make a difference, and that's the opportunity we try to provide.
Now, what opportunities do you have? I know you have a huge age range with people who show up for this event. What exactly do you have for maybe the young kids or the older folks who are coming?
So one of the fun things we have planned for this year with the younger crowd is we have a Harry Potter theme hour. So we're going to bring the Quidditch team out, have some wand making for them, that sort of thing. It's going to be a great time. For the older crowd, we do have some performers, some bands coming out. We have a magician coming out, so that's kind of all age ranges right there. So we try to incorporate every age group into this event.
Awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time out of your day to come join us, and thank you for contributing to this great cause.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me again.
We really appreciate it. All right, thank you so much. We'll be right back with this week's weather forecast.
From the students of Penn State Meteorology, here is your Penn State Campus Weather Service forecast.
Good evening to everybody out there. I'm student meteorologist Hunter Williams here with your PSN weather update for this evening. Now, if you don't know where your umbrella is, go ahead and find it, because this week you're definitely going to need it. Only seeing the clouds tonight, but as soon as tomorrow, rain entering the forecast and plenty more of that to go around as we see several rounds of rain push through over the next couple of days. Now, here's the setup that we're looking at this evening. Low pressure over the Great Lakes regions right now that will be pushing easterly to our north as we go overnight tonight and through tomorrow, and be bringing rain to us tomorrow. And we'll see several more rounds of rain once again as we push through the next couple of days. Just the clouds tomorrow morning, but as soon as around 10 a.m. we see the rain starting to push into the areas. Those Scattered showers through the morning hours, and by the time we get to around 4, we'll see those temperatures in the mid-60s, but also seeing some heavier rain push into the area. So we'll go ahead and time everything out for you once again overnight tonight. Just seeing the clouds, but as soon as tomorrow morning, scattered rain showers arriving here in central Pennsylvania. We'll continue to deal with the scattered showers as we push through the morning hours and early afternoon hours of tomorrow. But by around your commute home for tomorrow, we're seeing the heavier rain start to edge into State College here, and that will continue to move through until we get later on into the evening, where we're seeing mostly clouds overnight tomorrow evening, but another round of rain coming on Wednesday. Once again, that will be the story round after round of rain as we go throughout this next week. Those showers already popping up by the time we get into Wednesday afternoon. So another round of rain possible by the time we get into Wednesday. But your forecast for tonight, mostly cloudy. We'll see a low of around 37 degrees for this evening, but we get up into the mid-60s quickly by tomorrow. Rain likely once again, a high of around 66. But more rain throughout the week. Rain just about every day this week, unfortunately. Showers likely Wednesday, and we'll see the scattered showers as well on Thursday. And by Friday, warmer temperatures into the mid-60s. Could even see a thunderstorm possible by the time we get towards the end of the week, and a chance of showers once again on Saturday. But Sunday looks like we could get a peak of sun, but unfortunately by the time we get into the beginning of the next work week, looks like another round of showers is entering the State College area once again, unfortunately. I've been student meteorologist Hunter Williams here on behalf of the Penn State Campus Weather Service. Thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned for PSN as we have sports coming up here in just a few minutes.
Hello everyone, I'm Sophia Weston with this week's Sports Wrap-Up. The Penn State baseball team lost to Ohio State 7-6 yesterday in Columbus. Ohio State led by 4 in the 3rd inning, but Penn State battled back in the 4th, 5th, and 6th innings. They thrived in the 5th inning with 2 runs, but the Buckeyes were back in the lead at the bottom of 6th. The Lions then tied up the game, but in the 9th inning, after a walk-off double, Ohio State pulled ahead to the final score of 7-6. The Penn State softball team dominated Wisconsin 15-5 victory in Madison on Saturday. The Lady Lions hit 2 grand slams in 1 inning. The day before, the ladies scored 24 runs in a doubleheader. The offense acted strongly again in the 4th inning and gave Penn State an 8-5 lead. Sophomore Reina Fruya pulled off a rare feat, which has only been accomplished 5 times in the NCAA Division I history books. Penn State women's lacrosse had a close game against Ohio State on Saturday, but managed to win 14-13 at home. Penn State opened the game by putting its first 4 shots on the scoreboard, the first period ending with Penn State leading 9-7. Penn State connected on 11 of its first 15 shots and built a 4-goal lead in the second half. Ohio State had the advantage in shots with 29 over Penn State's 22, but it wasn't enough. The Nittany Lions looks to start their inaugural Big Ten campaign 3-0 when they host Michigan on Thursday. The number 13 women's gymnastics team ended in 6th place at the NCAA Regional Championship at the University of Oklahoma on Saturday. The team got itself into 2 of the top 10 of the program's record books. They now rank 5th in the vault for the program history at the regional meet and rank 7th on the uneven bars in the school's regional history. Penn State posted its 5th highest NCAA regional championship score on vault. Freshman Brianna Tsang led the way in the all-around with 49.1 to tie for 5th overall. The Penn State men's volleyball team won its 9th consecutive game, this time beating George Mason 3-0 in Virginia. Aaron Russell, Jalen Penrose, and Chris Nugent powered the offense with double-figure kills in the Saturday game. The Lions opened the game with an 11-6 run, giving them an early advantage, and did the same in the 3rd set. In the 2nd set, the Patriots led for a brief time as the 2 teams battled closely to the end, with Penn State winning the set 25-22. The Lions will conclude their regular season home slate this Friday when they host Harvard. And that's all for this week's sports. PSN News will be right back after this.
And that does it for us here at PSN News tonight for April 6th, 2015. Thanks for joining us, and make sure to check us out on Twitter at PSN News.
And make sure to watch us every Monday live at 7. Have a good night, and thanks for watching.